Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome to the W.B. Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com. My name is Kevin Dexter, joined as always by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride men's lacrosse team, Seth Tierney. Coach, thanks for the time. How are you?
Kevin, thanks for having me.
Coach, coming off an 11-9 victory yesterday over Dartmouth, snapping a 2-game losing streak. What were your thoughts on the team's performance yesterday?
It's certainly great to get a win. I was happy with some of the improvements that we made coming off of the prior 2 games. Again, at one point in time, it was 10-4. We did have a couple of plays where it led to them getting some momentum back, and then Adrian Sorchetti basically sealing the deal with a goal later on in the fourth quarter there. But again, I thought we did some things well in the first half. It wasn't as clean. They threw a couple of unique defenses at us early on, a double short stick shutoff, on and off. So it kind of ruins or it makes you remeasure some of the things that you're doing. And we made some adjustments, and I thought it wasn't bad.
And you were coming off the 2 losses last week to St. John's and to Drexel. You never want to lose, but what did the team and the staff learn from those losses and late in those games?
Yeah, I mean those losses sting. Not because they're not quality teams. Both those teams, well, all of our losses this year are to top 20 opponents at this point in time. But we had some good things rolling there, and we got to restart the roll a little bit. And we don't think that we're going to go from 0 to 60. But the Drexel game, I think both those games, we could have won in regulation. Obviously, the St. John's was in regulation, but I thought we had opportunities to finish the ball, and we just didn't do it. We worked on it. We made it a point of emphasis, and we need to get better. We saw some things that we didn't like yesterday afternoon, last night, and we'll fix them. And we have a huge game versus Towson this weekend.
And in both of those losses, both St. John's and Drexel made a little bit of a fourth quarter comeback, and then yesterday against Dartmouth, you mentioned you were up 10-4, and Dartmouth came back late in that third quarter and in the fourth quarter. Is there anything you can put your finger on that's going wrong in the fourth quarter?
No. I mean, listen, those teams are playing harder. They're losing, and we got to play with an edge. And sometimes it's a hard thing to teach, but I think our guys have learned it. Certainly afterwards, after the 2 losses, you build up a 10-4 lead. Nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody wants to talk about the comeback, and then you almost lost it. What about the 10-4 lead that we were winning all the way through? Those are good things. Now we have to extend that 10-4 lead. We had a failed clear that led to a man down situation that led to a long possession. All of those things that if we just cleared the ball a little bit more with poise, then maybe it's a 13-6 game last night, and we don't talk about these things. Those are the things that we're trying to teach, some young guys out there and some old guys out there that maybe didn't play a ton last year. Excuse me. But those are the things that we're the growing pains that we're going through, and we got to get that rolling a little bit. Our confidence was shaken. We regained a little bit back yesterday, and now we're looking forward to preparing for the next CA game.
Well, offensively, you put up 11 yesterday, as we've talked about. You're getting that balance offensively. Ryan O'Leary starting at attack for the first time, has 2 assists, seems to be fitting in nicely with Sam Linares and Torren Barn. What did you think of the offensive unit?
Yeah, I thought Ryan did a good job. We asked him to let the game come to him. Certainly, a guy that hasn't, he's played very well in practice, but hasn't cracked the lineup. Not because he's not a talented player, but when you have Lance Yapor and Torren Barn and Sam playing pretty well, and you're in some tight games, it's hard to get some other guys in. And then we wanted to put him in at the midfield a little bit, and then when Sam Lance's injury opened up a spot. We did try Tyler Begley. He was the starting attackman there last year. We just feel like he's more comfortable at the midfield, so we tried that experiment. We moved him back after 2 games, and then we tried Ryan O'Leary. I thought he did a nice job, and again, with confidence and with more playing time, he's going to grow.
I'm looking forward. You mentioned the Towson game on Saturday. Now that you're getting back to conference play, were there some things that you saw yesterday against Dartmouth that you want to implement here on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to play against a different style of defense. Sean Manilin, the head coach down at Towson, is a guy that played for me when I was an assistant coach, and he does an unbelievable job of teaching discipline and doing it his way. So we're in the process of watching film. You don't have, in the Division I situation, you don't have the luxury to look forward on anybody. So we were concentrating all up until last night on Dartmouth, and today we'll start with Towson. But we have seen some of their games. We do have some of their games on film, and we'll study them. We're going to allow the guys today to stretch out a little bit. We're going to cover a couple of mistakes, but we're tired from last night. There's no getting around it. Certainly defensively, we played a lot towards the later part of the game. We recognize that. We're going to watch some film today. We're going to practice and stretch, and then we're going to watch some film on Towson.
Well, knowing how important these CAA games are, of course, it's going to be number 3 of the season. You guys sitting at 1-1. What's going to be the key to going down to Towson and playing in a tough place to play on the road, getting a win?
I think growing from the Dartmouth game, you can't talk about Notre Dame. You can't talk about Harvard. You can't talk about those. That was years ago already. You need to grow from what we did last night, and we got to do it on the road at Towson. They got a bunch of quality guys. They got a bunch of Long Island guys that are very, very good. And the Napoli certainly is one that stands out. And Andrew Hudson's another one that stands out. They got a couple of defensemen that are from the New York area and Long Island as well. So it's going to be a battle of some pride. And again, a 7 o'clock game down there, 7:30 game down there, and we'll be prepared to play.
All right, Seth Tierney and the Hofstra Pride men's lacrosse team down at Towson this weekend for CAA game number 3. Coach, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck in Maryland.
You got it. Thanks.
And thank you for tuning in to the WB Mason Coaches Report here on GoHofstra.com.